Hi everyone, I'm Jill Fitzsimons-Vila and I'm running for re-election because I deeply care about Bristol. I feel that every child should have the opportunities that they deserve.
I'm Kara Ledger. I'm running for the Board of Education. I am a lifelong Bristol resident. I also was a former teacher in Hartford and a coach for 11 years. I'm a firm believer in the power of public education, and I think it strengthens a community, but that only happens when you fund education properly, support teachers, and ensure that there's equity for all students.
I'm Barbara Tedesco. I've taught in Bristol for over 16 years, and I've seen firsthand how amazing our teachers and students are. That's why I'm running. I'd like to continue to support them with the resources and the respect that they deserve. Listening to the teacher voices that are saying this is the best environment for these kids.
Together we share the same goals. We want to strengthen Bristol school systems, support our teachers, and have transparency in what we're doing. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the concerns we hear most from taxpayers, parents, teachers is the budget. How are the decisions made? Who's making them? Why? I think we really need to get into that.
Exactly. I spent over 16 years in the classroom, and I know how important every single dollar is. And transparency is not just about numbers, it's about trust. And when the taxpayers know what we're spending on the students, that will build that trust and give confidence in our schools.
That's so true, Barbara. In my experience with the Office of the Victim Services and now with Bristol Board of Education, I've really seen how that transparency and clear communication really builds trust, and we're able to work as a team through the challenges that we're faced with. So I think that transparency and trust and clear communication on how we're making the decisions that we're making is critical to our process.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's because it's not about spending more or less. It's about spending smart and being upfront with the community to say, like, this is why this decision was made, and they need that clarity. I think that makes sense.
That really leads into another big priority for us, and that is keeping the politics out of the Board of Education.
Absolutely.
Decisions should never be about party lines. It should always be focused on what's best for the children in our schools.
Absolutely. And we should be willing to collaborate with each other, use data to base our decisions off of, making sure that we're putting student needs above party politics. You know, as a teacher, I used to give out homework, and just like a student, the board members need to do their homework and learn the state and federal laws. These laws are out there to protect schools from being underfunded and to make sure that students all have equitable access to education.
Right.
Absolutely.
And board members can disagree and have different ideas,
Yeah.
but they need to come together to find solutions.
Right.
But laws are laws, and those have to be followed. So what disturbed me in that regards is the recent notice that the city got for failing to meet the minimum budget requirement for funding schools.
Yep, first
and
time ever.
since we're already following a deficit, that just continues to leave schools in a predicament, underfunding and deficits. We
Absolutely.
need to make sure that our taxpayers know those are the reasons why we need to continue to fund
Right.
at a good level.
Yeah, absolutely. To piggyback off of that, Barbara, I feel like it connects to what we were talking about before about that transparency and open communication. I feel like it's so important to create opportunities for the community to ask questions, learn about this stuff, try and understand it based on the facts so they can form their own opinions.
And they are not led by misinformation.
Right. And I know a lot of parents have asked me recently, why are things being cut? Arts, music, gym, and that's why.
I'm glad you brought that up, Barbara. Underfunding doesn't just impact resources, it impacts the board's ability to retain teachers. And the ones who are left, they have larger class sizes, less paraprofessionals, the materials might not be up to date. As a former teacher, I felt that impact of not being properly supported. It's actually why I left teaching. So part of my goal here now is to come to the board here, serve the teachers of Bristol so they don't feel that same lack of support.
And we have to remember too that the teachers are really the heart of the schools. They show up every day, not just to teach, but they show up for our kids, your kids. I think that teachers above all need to feel valued and supported, and they need to be respected by everyone as well.
Absolutely. And I think it's critical as a board to truly listen to our teachers, have their voices heard in the decisions that we're making. Seek guidance from them, seek input from them in making those decisions that impact their classrooms, as well as the policies that we're either creating or updating. I think it's critical to have that teacher voice involved in that decision-making process.
Right. I mean, because if they feel supported, it's more of a community. They're more apt to build strong, meaningful relationships with students, with teachers. That's what I felt when I was a Bristol student. So I hope that the future generations feel that too by supporting teachers.
One of the things that I love about this process is it gives us a way to share our information, to discuss these issues, and then to teach people how to find the information so they can make an informed decision when it comes time to vote. There's so much that's being said out there, and it's hard to know what's real.
Absolutely. I mean, so if we're talking about what's real versus what's not, can we talk a little bit about the social media posts and the mailer that went out saying that the Democrats on the Board of Ed overspent by $11 million?
I'll be honest, I was absolutely shocked.
Yeah.
We came home, I worked all day, it was about 7:30, 8 o'clock, my family walks to the door, and I received one of those mailers in our mailbox. And I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was absolutely shocked.
Same.
Out of 9 Board of Ed commissioners, 5 are Republicans. They hold the majority. The $11 million deficit on special education costs over the past 3 years is clearly explained in the commission, in the audit that
Yeah.
the city commissioned.
Right.
I strongly encourage that if anyone has questions, to specifically focus on page 14 where it's clearly explained.
Right. Can I just interject where that page shows that from 2021 to 2024, special education costs increased by 20%, yet the budget from the city only increased by 5%. So that's kind of like this immediate shortfall.
Yeah. It's not an issue of overspending. It's an issue of underfunding.
Absolutely.
And that directly impacts our kids.
Exactly, and I've shared that page and that report with people, and they're frankly surprised that there's been so much misinformation that's being put out there. Once you read the audit, or at least glance
which
at
is
those
on the
pages,
website.
Page 14,
Yep.
which is on the website.
The audit's
it
on the
becomes
website.
really
Yep.
clear
Yeah.
that it's misinformation. And then there's this new thing going out that says that for the first time that the Board of Education is being fully funded. I mean, where did that come from now?
So on the website, you can see every department's, there's an electronic budget book. You can see every department's budget by year, including the Board of Ed. So these show that the only time that special education did not run a deficit in the last 10 years was when Ellen was mayor. That's it. You can go see.
And I'll be honest, even as a board member, it takes time to really sift through the data, sift through the information that's out there.
Yeah.
But I strongly encourage people to dig for those facts.
Get informed.
Get informed, make informed decisions.
Yeah.
And if you have questions, reach out. We're here. We're learning together through this. We're here.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep. We work together
Yes.
really well.